Hey, remember this game? Yeah, this was a game called LawBreakers, and it came out less than a year ago, in August of 2017. BossKey Productions, headed by Cliff Bleszinski, decided that they would try their hand at a shooter, a first-person shooter, an arena shooter, a team-based arena shooter, a team-based hero shooter, in a market that was already oversaturated and, dare I say, solved in the hero shooter market. I don't personally think it was their fault that LawBreakers ended up failing so spectacularly. I think it was just a case of bad timing, because as far as I know, they'd been making LawBreakers before Overwatch even came out, and didn't manage to release it before Overwatch got ridiculously popular and Paladins came in as the free-to-play alternative. So with those two options already taking a huge chunk of the market, there wasn't really much room left for LawBreakers, and it tanked. Bad. How bad was it? Well, to put it into perspective, when it launched, it reached about 3,000 concurrent players on Steam. That's not a lot. It sounds like a lot, it's not a lot, especially for a launch window. That's less than even Battleborn got. That's even less than the open beta periods of the game. That's right, this game's own open beta period outperformed its launch. That's how bad it did. Now, there were a lot of factors that led to its failure, and this isn't a LawBreakers failure analysis video. I've already done that. Nobody cares anymore. But they tried for a few months to keep it alive. They tried for a few months to get people coming back to the game, but the snowball had already started rolling, and it started rolling pretty large. So eventually they had to cut their losses and just admit that the game failed. There wasn't anybody playing it, and there weren't any people interested in playing it or coming back as much as I and other people enjoyed the game. It's just when there's nobody playing, there's nobody to bring you back. So like I said, they eventually cut their losses and decided to stop supporting LawBreakers, which is a decision that I personally approve of. Because if your game is failing to get more than 12 or 14 concurrent players, at its peak, trying to continue to support that is just willfully burning money. And there are people that are upset about BossKey Productions cutting the cord on LawBreakers, and I really don't understand why, because it's dead. No matter what they do, it's gonna stay dead. There's one thing that they could do that people wanted them to do, and that was to make it free to play. And I know I said this isn't gonna be a LawBreakers video, but there's a reason I'm going over this, so hang on. Now, based on my understanding, I'm pretty sure they wanted to go free to play, but I think Nexon, their publishing company, who I think everybody could have spotted this from a mile away that Nexon was going to be a bad choice, I'm pretty sure Nexon is the reason that they're not taking LawBreakers free to play, where I think it would actually maybe thrive. It's a fun enough game. Maybe it would do good. And they can continue to update it with interesting game modes. And speaking of game modes, there's one game mode in particular that's become very, very popular in the past year, and that is Battle Royales. So around the same time they announced that they cut the cord on LawBreakers, they turned around and announced their new game, Radical Heights, which they claimed is a passion project, and it's a Battle Royale, like PUBG. And I say a lot like PUBG because it's really taking a lot of its inspiration from PUBG. You know, when you make a Battle Royale game, or when you make any game in the currently hot genre, you really need to do something that's unique. Fortnite, as close as it was to PUBG when it first came out, it at least had the building mechanic to make it stick out. Darwin Project plays completely differently from either of the other two competitors. Hunt Showdown, while not exactly a Battle Royale, it still has that feel of a Battle Royale. It brings in a lot of player versus environment excitement and stuff like that into the game that can shake things up a bit. And then here you have, from BossKey Productions, a game called Radical Heights, which feels a bit like a desperate move. And it probably is, and I can't really blame them for taking the choice that they did. Because like I said, they're probably in dire financial straits right now. I'm sure they spent a lot more money on LawBreakers than they ever saw back from its sales. They wanted and probably needed to make a free-to-play game to get their money back, and they probably needed to release it sooner rather than later to even stay afloat. So that's what they did. We have Radical Heights, about 5 months in the making, I think is what I read. And it shows, man. Now, the Unreal Engine is really good at allowing you to quickly prototype games. It simplifies a lot of development, and a talented group of individuals could really get a lot done in about 5 months. But if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a proponent for not releasing games before they're ready to be consumed by the public. And I think that's what Radical Heights is, and I think that's why it's getting such a bad rap. This game is severely underbaked. It's missing textures in much of its buildings. Everything feels so claustrophobic, and doesn't matter where you go, you feel like you're in the same part of the map. There's no real defining features to really any portion of the entire map. And on top of that, it's not really doing anything very unique. It does a few things unique, and I guess the unique part is that you can collect cash throughout the match, and you can either spin that cash in that match, or you can save it to take out of the match and use that on cosmetics. Or you can withdraw it in future matches to help you buy guns early on. And these guns are going to be in really easy spotted vending machines across the map. It's a choice to make, and that's about the only unique thing that it has going for it, other than a few superficial things like the 80s theme, the game show theme, the confetti that pops out of people when you kill them, the zip lines and the bikes, and other game show elements. I mean, sure, those are aesthetically unique, but they don't really offer anything new in terms of gameplay, which, like I said, if you want to compete in a very popular genre, you need to do something that's unique, or you need to do what the successful games do, but a lot better. It doesn't do any of these things. There's nothing super unique about it, and it's not even any better than the current competitors. The gunplay feels average at best. The weapons feel terribly balanced. The movement is dreadfully boring and sometimes very janky. The control scheme is something that I'm really having a hard time getting used to at all. Like, you have to double right click to go into your iron sights, and I think from what I've heard that happens in PUBG too, but I don't know, that's not a very friendly control scheme in my opinion. The vehicles act weird, the bike physics are all off, the zip line just look at it. Ugh. The sound effects are bad, and it is terribly undercooked. And on top of that, I don't think the map is even very well designed. I will say one thing, it's a lot more dense than the maps in either Darwin Project or Fortnite or PUBG. And while on the surface that seems like it might be a good thing, the fact that so many buildings are repeated ad nauseum throughout the map makes it feel very samey, no matter where you go. You have no idea where you are in relation to anything, and I find myself getting turned around a lot. Like I need to go maybe south to get out of the zone that's closing, but I end up accidentally going northwest because I guess the buildings kind of threw off my sense of direction somehow? I don't know, it's still confusing me, and how many hours have I played of this stupid game? Mostly because of duos, which I guess will be my excuse. 9 hours. 9 hours is how many hours I put into this, and I still haven't really been able to get a good sense of where I'm going, even when I look at the minimap. In every other game, I always feel like I'm able to go in the direction where I think I'm going, but like I said, somehow here I keep getting turned around, and I think it's because of the recycled buildings and the sheer density of them. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't having at least a little bit of fun in Radical Heights. I mean, sure, the game is at odds with itself with the realistic guns, but the over-the-top confetti and game show aspects of it. And sure, the first couple days were plagued by a really terrible bug that made you have to relaunch the game every time you managed to get stuck on an infinite loading screen when you tried to queue into a match. And sure, I find myself bored out of my mind every time I'm roaming around, stressed out every time I cross a corner in the incredibly dense city, just looking for somebody or keeping my ears open for footsteps that aren't mine. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't having a little bit of fun. But would I be having more fun in PUBG? Probably. Would I be having more fun in Fortnite? Probably. I'm not going to say that this game is completely hopeless, but I think it's already ruined its first impression. I will admit, according to the Steam charts, it's doing a lot better than I ever expected it to, but it's dropping players pretty quickly. And I worry for its longevity, I worry for its future, and I worry for BossKey's future if this is what they have to offer. It's okay, and in today's game development economy, that's not enough. It really isn't. So my prediction is they either do something to really change the direction that Radical Heights is going and make it feel unique and more exciting and different in some way, or it's just going to go the way of its predecessor and just fizzle out and die. And to go back to talking about its predecessor, LawBreakers, there's a reason why I harped on so much about it at the beginning of this video, and that's because there was somebody, or at least a couple of people, who mentioned while I was streaming that why didn't they do this? Why didn't they give the Battle Royale treatment to LawBreakers instead of creating a new game? Why not make LawBreakers go free to play and give it some new life with a Battle Royale mode? Because at least with LawBreakers, you have a very unique mechanic in the anti-gravity fields that are a real core feature of the game. That's actually an idea that excites me a little bit. A Battle Royale game with the fast-paced nature of LawBreakers, with the ability to make yourself zoom across the map by shooting behind you, the ability to float around and do weird, crazy stunts with I don't know, maybe a rocket launcher or certain abilities that you picked up. That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like something that really could have taken off. It sounds like something that could have easily resurrected LawBreakers. But like I said, I think Nexon has the IP in a chokehold and isn't really allowing BossKey to do whatever they want with that IP. And it really sucks because they really missed an opportunity by not making LawBreakers their Battle Royale project. But instead, we have this not terrible but not good either, highly generic 80s action game show nonsense that I predict is going to die within a couple weeks, probably. And it's too bad. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video since I had so much to do with LawBreakers and I made videos about it. So I guess I could say I'm currently invested in BossKey's future and seeing where they go. But anyway, what do you think of this game? Other than the fact that it looks like crap. What do you think of BossKey's situation? Do you think this game has a chance? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't done that already. And if you liked the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you disliked it, hit that thumbs down button. And I will see you next time.
Incoming prize packages for your enjoyment.